holding, everybody. We're now joined with Larry Blakeney, the head coach of Troy. If you have a question for Coach Blakeney, please dial *1 on your phone line. Again, *1 to get your questions in the queue. Coach, while we're waiting for questions, would you mind starting us off with an opening statement?
Well, our worst fears, or my worst fears, have been realized in a game here against Abilene Christian FCS team. And I guess basically the FCS team has just become 1AA in the past couple of years in the Southern Football League, which is a league that we certainly have a lot of history with and respect for. And I was after seeing them play Georgia State early in the year, and Georgia State being able to win late in the Dome, I've been concerned about them knowing where we are and what we're trying to do, and it was something that was an awfully bad dream that came true, and we're trying to deal with a confidence level and young quarterbacks and a defense that's not very not as bad as they may seem, but not as good as we need to be. And we're smarting a little bit. We have a day off with our kids today. We practiced last night, and we will start work on Georgia, who is scary on video. And so that's where we are. Hopefully we can find a way to stay together and fight hard and keep trying to get better. And that's our posture, and that's what we'll be trying to get done from a standpoint of coaching these kids the rest of the season.
Thank you, Coach. Our first questions come from Chattanooga, Tennessee. Caller, please identify yourself and go ahead.
Hey, Coach. David Pascal with the Chattanooga Times Free Press. Along those lines, after what you just went through, how is playing a team like Georgia, does this come at the worst time considering the confidence thing?
There is no good time to play Georgia. I can tell you that. And I know they've lost the game, but when they make it up their mind that they're going to take the ball and cram it down your throat, they're pretty capable of doing so with certainly the big running backs, I should say, a big running back and a guy that can really run, a young guy. And I haven't been as deep into the video as our coaches have, but I've seen enough. And so playing Georgia anytime is not, from our perspective, is not a thing that you relish, unless you knew you had a chance to go in there and do something with it. We played against them pretty good the last time we were there, and they were a dominant team then. They're a dominant team now, and I think they're still in the hunt and have some hope with the East, and so very good football team. Not a good time to play Georgia.
And I was going to ask as a follow-up, when you were there in 2007, obviously they had no Sean Marino. Now they've got Todd Gurley. How would you compare those two tailbacks?
Well, I really think Noshawn Marino has proved his worth as an NFLer. But this guy, Worley, reminds me more of the guy that nobody will ever forget at Georgia, and, that being Herschel. And, I really think that Worley is in his class, and that's saying a heck of a lot, as you well know.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach. Our next questions come from Athens, Georgia. Caller, please identify yourself and go ahead.
Hey, Coach. It's Mark Weiser with the Athens Banner-Herald. I know you guys aren't winning at the level you're used to there in recent years. Can you put a finger on why that is? Is recruiting or some other programs getting better, or what do you see?
Well, I'm not sure. I wish I was. I was smart enough to figure all this out sometimes, but there are certainly more teams recruiting to the same bill that we are, same motto that we are, and basically building a program, trying to overachieve, trying to beat some people, and there's a lot of folks in that same boat now, and all the conferences are sort of, our conference is even grown, and the race that you have to keep up with is to attract, you know, prospective student athletes to what you do, number one, your success rate, number two, your facilities, number three, and, you know, trying to stay up with all of that is, you know, and of course we need to throw in a free education, number four, and, you know, and what that can mean to them. But, you know, that's sort of where everybody is, and, you know, and the haves and the have-nots are the haves and the have-not much. And so, you know, we're fighting our guts out to stay afloat and keep these kids together and keep them rolling. And but, you know, I think the pool is thinner than it's been, maybe from a standpoint of people that are rising to the level of Division I athletics and having a good sell as far as what they're trying to do and attracting players, and you know, I think that may have something to do with it. That certainly is a pretty good excuse, it sounds like, and, you know, which we don't try not to make excuses.
And the other thing I would ask is, when you were hired there, could you ever envision still be in there in 2014? I mean, at the same place for that long?
No, not really. But you know, it's been a good place. You know, I'm sort of in the backside of my career now. I've been here 24 years. It's been a good place to raise girls, and they all went to school here. They're all successful and well, and there's some great people in Troy, and we've had a cause, you know, you know, trying to go through all these divisions. We're one of two schools. We're the same head coach who's taken the university from 2 to 1AA to 1A or whatever, FBS, and so, you know, well, there's some things to be proud of here. Certainly right now is a low point because of losing to a team that was much like we were when we started out. But there's a lot to be understood about Abilene Christian and teams like them that are transitioning from Division II, where the rules of recruiting are much less stringent, and then taking all those guys that you gather up and take it to 1AA and being able to break up 8 and being able to multiply your 68 or whatever scholarships into 100 maybe. And there's some very good players. Texas, this is another part of the equation, I think, and the state of Texas and high school football in Texas being as good as it is, you know, furnishing a lot of opportunities to recruit guys out there where it's a little further from us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.